and I just got done watching 1986's Platoon, starring Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, Willem Dafoe and Keith David. This one I've seen numerous times before, and again, this was another movie that I had to study when I did my A-level media studies. I think we did several of Oliver Stone's movies to see his style of directing and stuff, so and the messages he would be trying to get across, so this was one of the ones that we had to kind of cover. But as I said with Thelma and Louise, this is one of those ones that enough time has passed for all that knowledge to float away. This is the most testosterone fueled movie. This must be a field day for guys, seriously. For those who don't know, it tells the story of this very green rich boy who dropped out of college to join the army to go to Vietnam in 1967. Chris Taylor, played by Charlie Sheen. And this movie is basically showing the absolute horrors of Vietnam. They're in Cambodia and stuff, and you're really seeing through Taylor's eyes as he watches all these very different characters kind of have to work together to fight the enemy. But actually then he starts to realise that actually the enemy is not as black and white as everybody makes out. There is something in themselves that makes them the enemy as well, kind of thing. Not helped by Tom Berenger's Barnes, who is this really kind of it's difficult to explain, because what this movie is basically showing as well is that war is hell, and the madness that it drives you to, and it's basically showing the kind of fight to retain just the tiniest piece of yourself and decency in a world that has gone to complete shit, and also to try and find justice and that. And it's bleak. It's just awful. It's not awful in it's a bad movie. I just mean the atmosphere and that. And I mean, when it's not supposed to be cheery. War is not cheery. And of course the Vietnam War was an awful, awful thing. And it's something obviously I don't know, I never experienced, but to witness this, you feel like part of you is there with them. It's so realistic. And I mean, the pyrotechnics in this are amazing, and I hate to harp on about it, but again, practical pyrotechnics, as opposed to just computer-generated explosions. But of course we've got the great Dale Dye, who is usually the kind of military supervisor and advisor on these kind of movies. And the very start, the editing feels kind of erratic, and I was like, there's something not quite right here. But I guess there's a reason to that, in that it's showing like Taylor's confusion when he's first there, and feeling completely confused and out of water and stuff like that. I guess it's trying to symbolise that. Otherwise I would have thought there was a bit of a problem, but this feels a lot like a lot of Oliver Stone's other stuff. Just the way it's the directing in it, and those long, I mean, this has got some beautiful, very haunting string orchestration score, and it goes over a lot of the scenes with no talking. and you just have these long scenes of people, you know, the soldiers marching along and stuff with these explosions or whatever going off on the hill, and this orchestration, and it's so sad and profound and really gets to you. So although at the start it feels erratic, you just, at the same time, you feel as Taylor goes through this journey, the fact that these days are long and so much time, you know, it feels like so much time has passed when in actual fact, you know, they're counting off the days in that for how much service they've got to give. But actually it feels like forever. There's some amazing performances in this. Willem Dafoe, of course, he's the one in that iconic image that's used on like most of, is used on most of the posters. You know, just that image of his hands up in the air. It's one of those images, much like, say, Tim Robbins in The Shawshank Redemption. It's just one of those images that is used a lot to portray moments in cinema. This is really well done. Like I say, it is really, even then, I mean, you see people with blood on that, but there's not loads of, I can't explain it. Say like, much like I said yesterday with The Great Escape, you don't have to have like all these like jets of blood spewing everywhere to really make you see the horror of what's going on. It's weird because now if we don't see these effects and stuff, we think they just didn't have the budget. Whereas then, they could do it. I mean, oh my god, we saw it in RoboCop. But sometimes it's not necessary to get a point across. And like I say, although you see people with this, you know, bloody makeup on their faces and arms and stuff like that, you don't have to see like the bullets, you know, the bullet hole spewing and stuff like that to feel that pain with them, kind of thing. And I love that. I love that something like this can make the simple things so much more harrowing. I don't think I would call this the best war movie. Lots of people would probably argue with me on that. And you know what, as I go through these, I may change my mind on some of the ones that I would normally put above this. Stuff like Casualties of War and even Jacob's Ladder, you know, which isn't, this is primarily, obviously, this is all in Vietnam. So it is solidly a Vietnam movie. You don't move away from there. So it's difficult for me to class Jacob's Ladder as a Nam movie, because although it's a part of it, it's not the complete focus. But like I say, I may change my might change my movie. Well, obviously I'll be changing the movies. I may change my mind with time as I see some of the others, but I don't think this is my favourite. But it is easily up there in the top 5, if not the top 3. It's really enjoyable and really moving, and it's really well acted and stuff, like I say. And generally, I don't think there's anything I have a problem with this movie. Even I always enjoy seeing John C. McGinley and Forest Whitaker turning up in stuff. Johnny Depp I'm not usually a fan of, but he has a small role in this that I enjoy. It's just that kind of movie where I don't think I have any real complaints about any of it. So please, if you like your war movies, if you don't mind something that reeks so much of testosterone that you could be knocked out if it was a perfume, if you're just after a good watch, then please do check out 1986's Platoon. That was tonight's movie. We'll be back again as always tomorrow. I'm not sure what's next, and the way my DVDs are stacked in this particular shelving unit, I may be taking a break from the MGM movies for about 3 or 6 days. Just because these ones are all stacked vertically, but because of the height of the shelves, I've got some laying across the top, and I've at some point I've stacked them wrong, and the ones laying across the top are not MGM ones. They're from smaller companies and stuff. So I may get to those first, or I may continue with the MGM ones, and then, you know, once I've completed that unit, go to the ones laying on top. We'll see tomorrow, see how I feel. I would argue that it depends on the movie, but I really don't want to do it that way, so we'll see. But for now though, this is Sketch saying thanks as always. Please leave your comments. Please subscribe and like if you like these. And for now, signing out.